Indian classical music is pure, it is unadulterated, it is intricate and technical, while also being soothing and a mood setter. Classical music requires years of practice. It is the epitome of devotion and hard work. Much of it remains unfiltered by Urdu and other foreign languages. So why should Indians not listen to classical music? Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tribhuvan, and in this video I will tell you about the greatness and supremacy of Indian classical music over all other forms around the world. Let's begin. India is the only country that recognizes the voice as the first and most important musical instrument. There is no other tradition in the world where the voice of a person has such significance. Now, there are no good or bad voices. With training, everyone can become a musician. Again, no other civilization places as much emphasis on training for music as India does. Of course, what we know as Indian classical music today is inherent to all of Southeast Asia, since this genre of music, which is the greatest and most superior in the world, owes its roots to the sacred Vedas. But Indian classical music is facing a crisis. Today, classical music has little to no takers among the Indian youth. There are always a few exceptions here and there, but the present generation has not only lost touch with the classical music, but has also enshrined in its heart an unflagging love for Western music. I am, of course, referring to the English-speaking folks here. Non-English speakers find solace in Bollywood noise production, which frankly are abominations in the name of music. Indian classical music traces its roots to Samved. The hymns of Samved contain melodic content, form rhythmic and metric organization. The Rigved embeds the musical meter too, however, not in as detailed manner as the Samved does. The classic Sanskrit text Natya Shastra is at the core of the numerous classical music and dance traditions of the Indian subcontinent. Classical music of the north is called Hindustani music, while the kind prevalent south of the Vindhyas is called Carnatic music. Now here's where things get exciting. Music around the world traces its origins to the Indian civilization. The 7 notes of the music Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni have for the rest of the world become Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti. So music around the world is today inspired by India. Yet Indian classical music is struggling as a genre. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stepped up and sounded the bugle for Indian classical music to be revived, and not just revived but taken across the world. Speaking at an online event organized for launching the Pandit Jasrat Cultural Foundation on the 92nd birth anniversary of the classical vocalist, PM Modi made a call for popularizing Indian music on a global scale. The Prime Minister has urged people to infuse technology in music and set up music-based startups. He said, "My request to the Cultural Foundation is that it should focus on 2 things specifically. We hear about globalization, but its definition and talk surrounding it are centered around the economy. In today's time of globalization, it is our responsibility that Indian music makes its mark and has an influence globally." The Prime Minister also said Indian music has the capacity to revolutionize the depth of the human mind. It also strengthens an experience of the oneness of nature and the divine. Indian classical is the greatest music genre in the world. No other genre of music comes miles close to intricate and comprehensive Indian music system. Indian classical singers can sing practically anything from around the world. However, no international artist can perform a semi-decent classical piece without extensive practice and devotion. That is how difficult and awe-inspiring classical music is. The likes of Pandit Bhim Singh Joshi, Pandit Jasraj Pandit Ravi Shankar, Hari Prasad Chaurasia, Shiv Kumar Sharma, among others, are the artists who are simply undefeatable in the world of music. Many of the renowned Western singers, musicians and rappers will be all stunned into silence when they will hear the works of such artists. The tragedy of classical music in India is that it is fast losing an audience. Bollywood is producing one trashy songs after the other, corrupted with Urdu insertions and replete with vulgarity. Sadly, such noise finds hordes of takers across the country while a supreme musical genre continues to languish in anonymity. It is for this reason that Prime Minister Modi's call to infuse classical music with technology while preserving the art can have a dramatic effect in popularizing the genre to Indian masses. No art comes close to Indian classical music. Therefore, the need of the hour is to embrace this genre of spectacular music and make it cool to listen to. The sentiment when listening to classical music must be that of celebrating Indian culture in its purest forms. Not only is classical music highly addictive, but it can also prove to be healing for many. Why so? Because there is an entire science at work behind the classical music. Hindustani music exists in four major forms: Dhrupad, Khayal, Tarana, and the semi-classical Thumri. Dhrupad is ancient, Khayal evolved from it, Thumri evolved from Khayal, and Khayal is the modern form of Hindustani music, and the term means imagination. Dhrupad is the ancient form described in Natya Shastra and is one of the core forms of classical music found all over Indian subcontinent. The word comes from Dhruv, which means immovable and permanent. Indian classical music, therefore, is not just a genre. It encompasses several genres within itself. In Indian classical music, the rag and tal are two foundational elements. The rag forms the fabric of a melodic structure and the tal keeps the time cycle. Both rag and tal are open frameworks for creativity and allow a very large number of possibilities. Today, many classical artists can soothe the ears and souls of Indians. Some of them include Ajoy Chakraborty, Kaushiki Chakraborty, Shankar Mahadevan, Rashid Khan, among others. If you don't believe me in my extolation of Indian classical music, watch any one of Kaushiki Chakraborty's performances and you will realize how great of an art Indian classical music is. India can export its treasure of music around the world. Classical music can become India's biggest soft power flex, much like yoga. But for that to happen, Indians must first embrace classical music themselves. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to TFI English. Also hit the bell icon to receive all the recent updates. This is Tribhuvan signing off until the next one.